When I looked up the upcoming list of anime this fall, my heart just dropped at the sheer amount of those shows, old and new, that are going to be releasing soon. And right then and there, I just knew that this video was gonna be an all-nighter for me. So unless you have nothing to do for the next 20 to 30 minutes, I advise you to sit tight and dive in with me into the list of anime coming this season, and boy is it a big one. I recommend preparing some snacks to let the time pass quickly because this is gonna take a while. But as usual, before we begin, I just want to thank you all for supporting my channel and remind all those that didn't subscribe yet to join the family to receive all our upcoming news and be notified of all our latest new videos. With that said, beware for the obvious spoilers, and let's dive on in. And first we'll start with Re:Zero Starting Life in Another World, Season 3. Love aside, isekai mongrels, for the king has finally returned to claim his throne and rightful place above all other isekai anime. After a long 4 years, the juggernaut we all know and love, Re:Zero returns for its third season after being announced in Anime Japan. On March 23rd, becoming the highlight of the event, the wait is finally over and the journey continues from where it's left off. New faces will be introduced as well as the old ones. And Re:Zero isn't going to be taking all the spotlight and attention from other anime, and we will be ready to fight off anyone that even dreams of touching its throne and attempting at overthrowing it. And do you know what the best part of it all is? It's the fact that episode 1 is gonna be 90 minutes long. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, it's a 90-minute special, all to kick off the series with a bang. Some of you are already familiar with the word Uzumaki and almost immediately and intuitively pair it up with Naruto. Well, I hate to break it to you, but there exists yet another Uzumaki that isn't so cheerful and happy. The anime I am talking about is Uzumaki Spiral into Horror. Junji Ito. This notorious mangaka is known for his horror manga in Japan and hailed as one of the, if not the, best horror mangaka in the West. And one of his best horror anime mangas is now an anime that will release this fall. In the town of Kurozu, people are falling into madness bit by bit due to a supernatural event and curse on their town in the form of spirals. And some even reach deadly outcomes from this mad obsession with spirals. Now, the anime is built around certain separate cases of spiral madness. However, later on, the main character discovers that something even more sinister and inescapable is responsible for the madness that befell the town. This anime is one of Junji Ito's masterpieces, so it is bound to be epic as hell, enjoyable, and of course, scary. All my channel watchers and followers already know that I was never a fan of sports anime. I just never really enjoyed them. Until, of course, a certain anime came breaking through the door and kicked some sense into me, pun intended. This anime is, of course, Blue Lock Season 2. Now, with Season 2 being released, the hype was never higher, and the stakes are at their highest with the Blue Lock project continual in the balance. The National U20 match arc is finally here, and Isagi is faced with this hardest challenge yet. Ego Jinpachi needs to gather Blue Lock players to take on the National U20 team because the Japan Football Association administrators are dubious about the project. Their failure could mean the termination of the Blue Lock project and the end of all time, effort, and sweat the players put into training and honing their skills all in Season 1. His opponents are no mere players, they are trained and nurtured under the tutelage of Itoshi Sai. If Ego wants to have any hope of winning, then he will have to form a well-balanced team comprised of only strikes. This will be his hardest test yet, and will he make it, or will the Blue Lock initiative falter and fall to bits? Well, only one way to find out. Conspiracy theorists are just going to gobble this anime up. I mean, who wouldn't want for their insane supernatural beliefs to be actually true? And not just that, but also get the chance to experience them firsthand. This anime is all about that. Coming right up, we have Dandan, Ghosts or Aliens? That is the question these two main characters presented to each other while arguing who or which is real and which is not. The male main character is an avid believer in the extraterrestrials we call aliens that are here to take out humanity and live in its place. And the second main character is a believer in the concept of ghosts, the souls with the unfinished business still lurking in our world searching for their purpose. Their argument of who is real ends with a bet made to prove once and for all who is right and who is wrong all that time. However, what they end up discovering is something they never even dreamt of in their wildest dreams. Apparently, they were both right since aliens and ghosts existed in this world. Ayase Momo then ends up being abducted by the aliens and gains supernatural psychic powers, and as for Ken, he ends up the victim of a powerful curse that also grants him powers and abilities. And up next we have a very hyped up one, which is Are Furetta Season 3. After a really long time and a lot of fans' demands after 2 seasons and 4 OVAs, the anime is finally back after being greenlit for a 3rd season. This time the team is going to face a great trial and will have their work cut out for them, that's for sure. This will be an arc like none other, with Hajime and his harem of beautiful yet terrifyingly powerful women facing off against the kingdom after it slaughtered the innocent were-rabbit people. Hajime isn't the kind of person that just rolls over and dies. He is the kind of guy that will destroy and pulverize anyone that stands in his way, and pulverize he shall. The king had it coming, and me, personally, I love this show. So much that I know I will definitely enjoy watching the snot getting kicked out of that king when Hajime gets his hands on him. And up next, yet another hyped up anime that everyone has loved for decades, Bleach. 1,000-Year Blood War. The conflict. The battle still rages on and Soul Society remains in shambles. Last season ended with Ichigo finally unlocking his true Zanpakuto, a dual blade that represents both his Hollow and Shinigami powers. His training arc, as some might call it, is finally concluded, and now it is time for him to go back down there and kick some ass. However, he won't be the only one doing that. After all, the captains are going to have their fair share of the mayhem. The highlight of the season, however, at least for me, is going to be that glorious phrase, Bankai, Katen Kyokutsu Karamatsu Shinju. After long last, the forbidden rank Bankai of champion Shinzui is going to be revealed and animated for us to witness all in its glory. This arc is all about the action and the battles taking place and jumping from one site to another. Wherever you look, all you will see is battles here, battles there, and Shinigami clashing against the forces of the Sternritters. This is going to be a battle for the ages, an arc that will remain in the talks for the next 10 years to come. Let's just hope that the animation will remain the same and look as glorious as the trailers. From the battle to decide who rules the world in the grim atmosphere of war, we shift to an anime that, even though has its fair share of epic battles, still manages to have a lighthearted theme to them. And here up next we have another familiar one, which is Shangri-La Frontier Season 2. Sunraku-san? Man, what is this madman up to this time, huh? I bet Emilia's trying her hardest to keep that bird-brained trash gamer out of trouble. I mean, after all he went through along with his 2 other companions, fighting one of the juggernauts and main endgame content of the game, who can blame him for searching for something more of a challenge? Sunraku-san, along with his friends, who had formed a new guild, are surely up to no good, looking for new ways to unravel the secrets and mysteries of the game that is called Shangri-La Frontier. Honestly, I have always been the harsh critic when it came to game-themed anime series, since none of the series before ever managed to grasp the true essence of an adventure game, or that of gaming in general. Until, that is, the day I watched Shangri-La Frontier. This show was recommended to me by one of my friends, and thank God I listened to him and watched the show, because now I can easily say if anyone is ever going to make a gaming anime from now on, this anime better be its source and its blueprint. This game anime managed to grasp what it is to actually be in a game. Enjoying it, losing in it, this series just had it all right, and I just can't wait for Season 2 to drop so that I can binge this series again and enjoy it to the utmost possible levels. Ah yes, youth. It is nice to be young again, and nothing speaks young louder than sports and gymnastics. This anime is all about motivation, training, self-improvement, and above all else, it is about leaving your comfort zone and doing something with your life. Blue Box is the story of an above-average athlete with a crush on the school's athletic ace Chinatsu Kano. The story is all about the main character who somehow, by some twist of fate, ends up living with Chinatsu under the same roof and train together in the same school. Motivated by her athleticism and wanting to be on her level to impress her and ask her out, he decides it was time for him to leave his above-average comfort zone and actually put in some effort for once. And boy, did he aim high. He didn't only accept a better performance, oh no, he decided to go all the way in and climb the highest peak of athleticism, and he decided it was time he got into shape and joined nationals. This anime is definitely going to spur some of us to get good and reshape our lives for the better, something that we all need in our lives. Motivation. And here next we also have Reincarnated as an aristocrat with an appraisal skill season 2. The best thing about this anime that everyone loved as season 1 is the fact that the main character is not the overpowered, powerful, breaks the system and bends reality kind of main character. On the contrary, really, and opposed to all other reborn as a noble anime out there, the focus of this anime wasn't the character himself. However, it was the job and the task he had to carry on his shoulders even at such a young age. This main character was forced to rebuild his nation and create a powerful roster of recruits, not based on their race, nobility, or power, but based on pure powers and abilities, active and latent. This main character is going to build a nation like none other thanks to his ability of appraisal. The first season was a great success, and since everyone just couldn't have enough, he is back for a second season stronger than ever. Are you ready to watch him recruit more allies? I definitely am. Up next we have Ron Kamanohashi's Forbidden Deduction Season 2. Someone late at night woke up and decided to make a main character that is as smart as Shinichi from Case Closed, and while we were at it, why not make him the descendant of none other than the notorious Sherlock Holmes on one side and the wicked Moriarty on the other? One hell of a combo, don't you think? And the best part, just like all combos come with fries, you get your own comic relief humorous character that accompanies him solving quote-unquote cases. At first, it may have sounded quite insane. In the end, this character came to be, and the first season of the show did quite well, with a rating of 7.47. I'd say that's a win. And just like any good anime, you just can't get enough from one season and always have to go for seconds. That's why the series is back and stronger than season 1, with more cases to be solved and the lineage of Ron that was revealed left as a mystery to unravel. Let's just hope that this season is going to be as impressive as the one before it. I guess Yor is out of a job and needs a new way to make a living. Well, Yor look-alike at least, but I guess it still counts. You are Miss Servant. Hitoyoshi Yokoya is a high school student who currently lives alone. One day, an unfamiliar girl knocks on his door and offers to be his maid. She reveals that she is a former assassin, which makes Hitoyoshi nervous, but when her skills save him from being run over by a truck, Hitoyoshi ultimately decides to take her in. One tiny problem, however, she has no clue about the first thing of how to clean a house and keep it tidy when it comes to housekeeping, and is only good in one thing, and one thing only: assassination. She is going to be the ultimate waifu, I can see now. One thing as an introvert I can personally confirm is the fact that we are ready to go to any extent whatsoever as long as we get to keep fulfilling our introverted life at home, out of risk and jeopardy. And that leads us to 365 days to the wedding. These introverted office co-workers Rika Honjoji and Takia Ohara are going to have their whole introverted life routine decimated for them to do a new branch of the company opening soon in Siberia. Now, any other person would just jump in delight at the thought of traveling to another country, but oh no, not as introverts, oh no. We are just not prepared to lose our peace and comfort zone for anyone, even close friends, and certainly not for a company. The whole idea of losing such a precious thing keeps an introvert like me up at night, and these two are no different. The catch about the candidates that will be prioritized to go to that branch were that they are supposed to be unmarried. That was when Rika decided to take the extreme way out of it and ask for the aid of her coworker in order to achieve their mutual goal: not traveling to Siberia. The two agree then, and they're an act as a soon-to-be wed married couple. And as we all know, no rumor stays hidden in companies or offices, oh no. Soon after, the whole office finds out, and now the two are stuck for the whole ride. The funny part in all this is the fact that these two barely ever talk and don't even know the first thing about one another. We'll talk about the short end of a stick. This man got it all. Haruka, a high school student, obviously, is isekai'd alongside his whole class to another world, hence the anime name, Loner Life in Another World. Now, we explained the Otherworld title name part, however, it is time to explain the loner side. You see, Haruka tried his best to not get isekai'd, with being completely oblivious to the fact that his classmates will receive powerful godly skills that they chose themselves in something called a selection ritual. This ritual is going to be the cause of a lot of problems for the main character since he missed it himself, and all his friends had already picked all the good skills and left him with nothing but leftovers. The god of this world, feeling bad at his blunder, decides that even though all the other students received one skill on their journey to becoming heroes, he will end up granting Haruka all the leftover skills. I bet you can already see where this is heading by now, and yes, you are right. It is one of those quantity over quality anime. Combining his wit, equipment, and seemingly useless skills, Haruka manages to sail smoothly into this world and enjoy his time. The same can't be said for his friends, however. That part is for you guys to get into and discover. And up next, we have Yakuza Fiance. Love and the Yakuza are two words that you just won't imagine mixing, and for a fair reason too. The main character of this romance anime, and I am not even sure if it counts as one, is being literally sold off by her grandfather in a gang mafia peace treaty as an olive vine offering for the prominent Yakuza gang in Tokyo. She then is forced to travel from Osaka to Tokyo to live with her soon-to-be husband, the grandson of the Mishima mafia leader in Tokyo. Even though this main character had lived with gangs and mafias all her life, especially the Yakuza, and is already familiar with their old ways of doing things, she still manages to get taken aback by the sheer violence and brutality her sadomasochistic soon-to-be husband displays in front of her. He is a literal monster in sheep's clothing, to say the least, and with no way back home and the treaty between the two major families on the line, Yoshino had no other choice but to move forward. Steeling herself for the mayhem that comes next, Yoshino must be ready to take on whatever life, school, and even Kirishima, her fiance, throws at her. It's her only choice, honestly. And up next, we got Demon Lord 2099. I guess even Demon Lords were bound to receive some character updates at some point. This is the story of Demon Lord Veltol, a powerful beast that ruled the land of Shinjuku 5 centuries ago with an iron fist. He is now back after a slumber of almost 5 centuries, and what he sees is nothing like the world or era he came from. What he finds in front of him is the bustling city of Shinjuku, with all its cramped-in lights and signs. He is almost mesmerized by the view and is in need of some time to grasp the scene and understand fully what he is seeing in front of him. What seems to him as magic is just mere technology to us. However, do not fear, he will soon learn to adapt with his new situation, and just like how he took over the world the first time, he's gonna do it again and achieve all his evil and sinister goals. And up next, we have Rurouni Kenshin Season 2. After almost 2 decades, the infamous Rurouni Kenshin, a legendary anime, returned to a small screen with a new reboot and improved beyond measure animations. As someone that used to watch the original one, I was so hyped when I heard the news of a reboot, and to say the least, it delivered. Everyone here must agree with me that the anime delivered and was more than perfect. But I mean, honestly, setting my bias to the anime aside, I just couldn't find a fault or even tiny mistake in it. I just couldn't. The anime reboot was just pure perfection. And since we just couldn't have enough of our homeboy Saito, the anime is gonna bless our screens once more this fall with the release of the 2nd season of the story. Let us just hope to God that the perfection of Season 1 is translated into Season 2. And here next we have Goodbye Dragon Life. Okay, so I guess when it comes to reincarnation, the writers are kinda starting to get creative a bit in that aspect. The anime is clear evidence of such a feat that the creators of it have achieved. You see, just as the name implies, our main character is actually one of the 7 dragons of creation. A mighty, powerful dragon that even the gods of that world feared and wanted no quarrels with. After being defeated, eventually in the same hero versus demon king fashion, he reincarnates as a simple human named Dolan, living a peaceful life planting and raising crops in the countryside. It's not the best life, but it's a peaceful one, and he quite enjoys it. One that he couldn't experience when he was a mighty dragon. It was cozy and made him happy, to say the least, and one day when walking in the swamp, he befriends Alamia, a half-human, half-snake creature called Selena. Becoming friends despite the glaring differences they had, however, his peace was short-lived as a new opponent has risen to fill the power vacuum he left behind. Will this new great evil, however, live up to the expectations to Dolan and be as powerful as him? We will have to see. And another familiar one comes up next. It is Demon Lord Retry R. The once game developer, now Demon Lord Hakuto Kunai, is back after a long time. But hey, at least we did get a Season 2 eventually, right? While the Demon Lord continues his adventure in this revamped series, and after encountering the mysterious entity in the lowest level of the Bastille dungeon, he sets out for Hellion territory, where Grand Devils vie for domination of the realm. With the addition of a new advisor, the seemingly hopeless optimist Akane, the Demon Lord's army grows even more colorful, and their hijinks even wackier. One thing we can be sure of, things are about to get interesting and crazier than ever before. After all, the stakes are high this time, and Hakuto will require all of his wit, wisdom, and powers for this one. Now, about the movement of the Earth. That's actually what it's called. It's called About the Movement of the Earth. And honestly, I couldn't care less about what the anime actually speaks about as much as I am excited about the fact that the legendary Kenjiro Suda is going to be in this anime. The anime itself is taking place in 15th century Poland, and this was an era where scientific discovery was deemed heretical and could jeopardize religion. So the obvious solution was to burn everyone that had a higher IQ than wet concrete to the freaking stake. I mean, could this be the origin of meat and chicken skewers? But I digress. The life there was tough, especially for the people of thought and intellect which shared their ideas to the world and everyone around them. They posed a danger to the church and to the status quo. One of these individuals is Rafal, a genius prodigy that was supposed to major in theology. But a canon event in the form of an old raggedy man that just appeared out of nowhere was enough to change his mindset completely and get him asking the right questions. Like, what if Earth was, forgive my French, round? See, I know, right? Seeing anything other than the Earth as flat back then was as heretical as it could get. And up next we have Nagaki no Bore wa Intai Shitai. Yeah, if someone ever wants to compare this guy to anyone, just tell them that he is the one-punch man without the punch, the dog without the bark, Saiyan without the hair, the pirate without— okay, well, you get the point. He's just a sham, a loser, a useless piece of crap freeloading and cheating his way through life thanks to his X+++ skills at pleading and begging while seemingly doing it cool. I don't know how that works or just how the hell he does it. I mean, he looks that edgy when he is such a wuss and a coward. A powerless nobody that has no single treasure hunting bone in his useless husk. Cryout simply is king from One Punch Man, someone that just gets out of the sticky situations by sheer power or dumb luck and the skin of his teeth. And lastly, we have the most notorious talker runs the world's greatest clan. The story of this one is quite straightforward. His grandfather, hailed as a powerful and epic hero, means the world to Noel, the main character of this anime, so of course he wishes to grow up and become like him one day. One tiny problem in his path though. It's his own ability that he got appraised for. The ability of talker. However, with enough determination, not even something as trivial as an ability can stand in the way of achieving your dreams. That is why this main character is gonna go out of his way destroying everyone and everything that could pose a threat to his dream through whatever means necessary. He might seem to sound like a notorious villain, but thanks to his particular skill, everyone around him sees him as their leader. Thus, he formed the strongest guild clan with the strongest members. In this way, since he is the leader of the strongest clan, then by proxy, he is the strongest being. The manga has been ongoing strong for 4 years now, and the anime is already confirmed and dropping soon. However, let's just hope the anime does the manga justice. Well, damn! This season is packed. However, we did eventually reach the end. And it is time to bid you great people farewell until the next video. So in case you did enjoy this video, be sure to like, comment down what you're most excited about, and subscribe to the channel to keep on seeing your favorite anime content. And as for now, I'll catch you later. See you in the next one.